watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see, baby. Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see, baby.
And let's press play.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see, baby. Oh, baby, won't you come closer, yeah, I wanna get to know ya, baby.
Come on, very smooth, very beautiful vocals. So just to get myself in a good space with the vocal, I like to first add a noise gate. So let's add one. I'm going to add the NS1 from Waves. Now this for me is just a beautiful noise gate, easy to use, very hard to go wrong with this one. So I like to just make sure I deal with those background noise that come from, say, maybe the fan noise or the refrigerator or just even the input signal and the cables, just to deal with some of those buzz and background hiss and whatever. So I'm pushing the knob to like somewhere around level 4, then I leave it like that, nothing further. Then the next plugin on the chain that I'm going to add is an EQ. Whenever I load up EQ, I worry about fixing what I don't like with the vocal first before enhancing anything. Such as in this case, I know that I don't really need most of the low end in the vocal, so I'm gonna do a high pass filter or a low cut at around 100 hertz. So I'm going to do it just like that. And then I'm going to sweep for some boxy frequencies that typically sit within the like 200 to 800 range. So I'm going to sweep for that as the vocal plays. Okay. So let's do that and really pay attention to the vocals. So let me come straight here. Let's press play.
Oh, baby, I've been watching you.
Let me narrow the band. There we go. So I don't like this here. However, I'm going to make it dynamic because I only want it to attenuate or cut only when the problem frequency arises, right? So let's press play.
Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see.
Beautiful. I like how it's playing. And then let's move on to the next. I'm going to come and adjust this finely, but I'm going to leave it there for now. Let's move on to the next frequency, okay? So let's create another bell here and sweep through.
Oh.
Ooh. I think you can even see in the visual of the EQ here, it's just this resonant frequency that keeps poking up here. So I'm also gonna like sort of cut that.
Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see.
Oh yes,
baby.
It's responding very nicely, very nicely. And I think I'm also going to maybe then sort of compensate for that by boosting now somewhere in the sort of like upper mid frequencies, just to give about presence to the vocal. So I'm going to do that at around the 3K range. So let's sweep for that. There we go. So with this one, I'm not going to make it a dynamic bell because I just generally wanted to boost that that area with like a dB, nothing much. And honestly speaking, with the EQ, this is what I feel I just needed to tame, okay? I'm only going to switch up the mode of the EQ from 0 latency to natural phase. Otherwise, I'm done with the EQ. Now I'm going to move on to compression to sort of now compress and sort of tame the vocal as it is, because I've already EQ'd what I don't like. So now I want to control and sort of tame it and glue it more together. So let's do that without wasting any time. So I'm going to go through a specific preset that I know and comes from a very trusted engineer, one of my favorite mixing engineers, which is Dave Pensado. So let's go to the artist presets, Dave Pensado, and then there's a preset here, smooth vocal. I'm going to load that up, then just modify it slightly. So for now, let me mess with the threshold slightly. Okay, let's play with it. Let's listen to the vocal. I'm looking to get about 2 to 3 dBs of gain reduction. So let's press play.
Oh baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see, baby. Oh baby, won't you come closer, yeah, I wanna get to know ya, baby.
Okay, so I'm happy with where it's sitting now. I'm not going to change any of the attack release settings. I think it's riding the vocal very smoothly as I wanted. I'm getting the much desired gain reduction. So I'm going to leave it exactly like that and move on to the next plugin. So this is the FabFilter Pro MB, a multi-band compressor. And I'm going to go to one of my very own presets that I always just use and tweak in to fit to that specific song, but I know that the basic foundation of it always works. Okay, so I'm going to share it with you now, which is the smooth vocal tame and control. So I'm going to load this up now. With these 3 bands, what I'm doing is this. With the first one, I'm sort of tightening up and controlling the low mid frequencies just to sort of tame and not allow a lot of that boxiness to poke out of the vocal. And then with the upper mids, I'm also taming and controlling some of that harshness within the like 0.5K range to like a 4.5K range, basically just taming a lot of that harshness that's somewhere there in a very smooth, gentle way, of course. And then lastly, the magic of this is where I've also inserted a band strictly for the high or the upper mids to the high frequencies. So I'm talking from like 5K basically all the way going up. I'm sort of taming those frequencies or that frequency range to deal with the sibilance there. So I'm going to play the song and I want you to carefully watch how the compressor is moving in sync with the vocal and how even the sibilance, or rather the multiband it's only responding to the sibilance whenever those S hash sound, like sounds come through. Check how it's sort of just ducking those down. Okay, let me press play.
Oh baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see.
Beautiful. Watch on the word C, how it just grabs the first transient of that C word and then immediately lets go. Okay, so it's like when it goes C, it just grabs it and quickly lets go. Okay, I don't want it sticking for long because then it makes the vocal start sounding like the person has lisp. Okay, so pay attention to how the compressor is moving. Let's press play.
Oh baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah.
Watch.
And I like what I see, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Oh baby, won't you come closer, yeah.
So it's gonna surprise you. To me, it's sounding beautiful, it's sounding nice. I'm not gonna even mess with the preset. I'm gonna leave it as is because it's very key to not tweak for the sake of tweaking, but really pay attention to what you're hearing. And if it sounds good, it sounds good. Move on to the next. So now, just for safety precaution, I think a step that I skipped because I didn't feel like it's needed, but I know for someone out there it might help, is to tune the vocal. So because this is a very melodic, singy-songy type vocal, it's best in your favor to make sure that it stays in tune. So I'm going to quickly add auto-tune just for safety reason, but in a very, very small amount, okay? So let's add auto-tune. And then the key of the song is E flat minor. I know that because I produced the song, so I know the key, or I still remember the key. And then I'm going to go to low male. I'm going to put the retune speed at like 30. And then I'm going to pull up the humanize all the way to 40. There we go. So I'm going to have it at 40. And then I'm going to come here and disable the auto EFX. Set this to more like a soft EFX. Perfect. So that's where it sets. I'm going to do a quick A and B of all of the entire vocal chain now. Listen to the difference. These are very subtle differences, but listen to how clean and control the vocal sounds. Here's without all the effects.
Oh baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see, baby.
With effects.
Oh baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see, baby.
Very subtle. So I'm not really changing the tone of the vocal. However, I'm making sure I'm getting it well in control and just making sure it stays the same, but still allowing a bit of movement within it, okay? So I like where everything is seated. It's clean, it's perfect, it's nice. Now I'm going to show you the super effect that just knocks the ball to the park, okay? So what I'm going to do first, to sort of increase the atmosphere or depth of the vocal, I'm going to add reverb. So I'm going to send the vocal to a room reverb from Valhalla, right? And then for the presets, I'm going to go for, let's say, rooms. Or rather, let's just pick a medium room here, leave it at default. And for the decay, let's slow it, not really too slow, but I'm going to say maybe at 1.7 or somewhere there. But we're going to tweak it as the vocal plays. So I'm going to leave it, the decay at that. For the pre-delay, let's slightly pull it up, maybe 11.7, somewhere there. Now, a tip on how to hear what you're doing exactly is you could add the fruity send. So let's go to image line. You could add this plugin, and then here you say send to. Then you send it to the desired send channel or the room reverb. So we just want to hear what it's doing. So what you can do after setting that is listen.
Oh baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah.
So you can hear how the person sounds like they're somewhat in a medium type room, almost like a sort of a whole room. So that's what we want, right? So it's hugging the vocal very nice, and it's cutting. It doesn't really have that long of a tail, which I like.
Oh baby, I've been watching.
So you can hear that the vocal, the reverb stops before the next phrase of the hook, right? So that's what we need so that we don't create unnecessary muddiness to the song. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna mute the send vocal. So let's listen.
Oh baby, I've been
very subtle, but I like where the reverb is sitting. And then now I'm gonna create another reverb. So the intent with this reverb is to polish the tail of the phrases. So now I want to create more longer tail. So I need a long tail reverb or a hold reverb. So I'm going to insert the Valhalla vintage verb. With this one, I'm going to go to the preset under hold presets. I'm going to choose the vocal hold. And then the only thing I'm going to do here, again, I'm going to just, the pre-delay, same as the plate reverb, I'm going to leave it at 11.7. And then with this, maybe because I want a longer tail, I'm going to slightly push it a bit further, maybe push it to somewhere to say, instead of 1.7, maybe 3.7, somewhere there. There we go. and then that's it. So I don't want the reverb clashing into itself and creating a lot of muddiness. So to prevent that, I'm going to add an EQ on top of the reverb. So let's pull up a stock EQ, the Fruity Parametric EQ2. There we go. To make things easy, I have this preset that I always use. I'm cutting the low mids, the bass, the sub, everything down. Then I'm also cutting a bit of the treble just to make sure that I get a clean sounding reverb on those highs. So that's only what I'm doing. Then let's send that reverb to the lead vocal. So let's hear the vocal reverb, the long tail reverb.
Oh, baby.
Nice. So if you want to hear it, let me also exaggerate it so you can hear. Listen.
Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah, and I like what I see.
So you can hear how it takes a while for it to fade away. I needed to polish those tails, those last phrases of the words, basically. So it's doing what I want. I'm happy with it. Now I can delete the fruity sand, and then let's try and make sure that both the reverbs are blending well. The song, or the beat as a whole with the song. So let's play.
Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah.
Without the reverbs.
And I like what I see, baby.
With the reverbs.
Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah.
Come on. I know you think we're done, but we're not. The last final touch is where we now want to add those sort of fake doubles to the vocal, add a lot of stereo width, depth. So to not waste time with the video, I already have a preset here. I'm just going to explain it maybe quickly. What the plugins that I hear is a compressor here. So I'm using pretty much the limiter as like a gaining plugin, like I'm pumping the volume up and that's it. And then there's an EQ. With the EQ, I'm cutting just from like the low mids going down. I'm taking a lot of that just to make sure I'm sending in a clean signal, basically. And then I have a vocal doubler. So you can see that we have 85% separation, 50% variation. That's literally it. And then I have a meta flanger, just flanging it and pretty much playing with sort of the frequency panning slightly from the left and right. Nothing fancy with it, of course. And then lastly, it's a sort of a stereo widening plugin where I'm just messing with the stereo width and just open the separation a bit. So I'm going to do a quick A and B. Here's without.
Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah. And I like what I see, baby. Oh, baby, I've been watching you, girl, yeah. And I like what I see, baby.
Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next video. It's your boy Cgnature. I love you and thank you for supporting. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe, do the thing, and catch us next week. All right? It's your boy Cgnature.